I had an experience over the weekend. It impacted me. Thought I'd share it. So, watching some Crunchyroll, watching this anime story called Re dot dot zero. Okay, it's just all one word. It's a long title. So if you search it, you need to actually put the letters together. Re dot dot zero. Okay, and then you can find it. Watching this show and my brain, like my radar, my sensory radar in my brain. I feel like we all have a strange like radar system in our brain that actually picks up information that doesn't come from everyday thinking. So this radar system in my brain was somehow impacted, and I was starting to feel like literally under the weight, energetic weight of something, like a hand clutching my brain and squeezing. And I never felt this before. I never felt this sensation. It didn't hurt or anything. I just felt like I couldn't digest between the TV and my gray couch and the floor and then the ceiling. And then I just couldn't understand what it was, almost like reality was getting warped. It was so overwhelming. I had to go lay down. I ended up going to bed early. And so I woke up the next day, felt like a normal person, and decided to do a journey into this. And the journey itself and the message that comes from the journey is an important, deep, reflective place. I don't even know how to fully summarize it, so I would like to kind of summarize it here, but I'm just going to tell you what happens. So in this journey, so I'm in an altered state, right? And then I'm actually saying, what in the world was that last night? So I can evaluate the energy that was connecting to me, or I was connecting with something out there, and just get a reflective viewpoint of it, maybe heal it. And all of a sudden I get kind of like gravity's like pulling me upward and off the planet, and I'm finding myself guided to some other planet in the universe. And it definitely appeared to be a planet, but the planet wasn't behaving like a planet. It was more like a living body, and a very dangerous one at that. So let's say you land on the planet and you're investigating. This planet is more like a spider, and you're more like the insect that found your way into the web. And it's not typical because it wasn't your average predator. This planet, the consciousness was so ridiculously lonely that it went from these open, nurturing arms, welcoming any life forms in the universe. I'm like sending signals out into the universe, welcoming any life forms to come and to participate in the life here that this planet wanted to explore, to give it purpose, okay? And nobody came, nobody came, nobody came. And it had this longing in its heart. And so when nobody comes, it's changing, right? You change too. When your heart is pure and your arms are open and you're longing for something that just seems to fit. It seems innocent. It seems beautiful. In fact, it seems like it would make it a better world for you to get what you wanted. And then enough time goes by without any real purpose other than to just be cold and alone. Changes you. So here I am, and this planet is talking to me about how happy it is I've arrived and how lonely it's been. And then it's actually pulling me inside the center of the planet, which it was kind of like a jelly donut, okay? I mean, like pulled into this gooey center. It looked like dark purple jelly. And I'm in there like in the Venus flytrap. And I had to go through this phase to understand what the process was. And once you get pulled into this planet, the planet consumes you basically, and you become a spirit. So the inhabitants of the planet are spirits. So, but the spirits are kind of like ghost-like apparitions, unresolved, unfulfilled. So lingering around this physical body then is another dimension of living forms that were just not really doing anything at all, but at least the planet wasn't alone anymore. So now I could be one of these too. Well, I'm just consciousness, so it's not like I was materially there. And is this interpretation as real as it gets, or is this a concept of the truth, right? Or I'm going through the lens of some other living form that came here and understanding the history. And either way, it was important. The experience was important. What comes from it is important. Just like when you watch any thing on TV. Like, it's, what are you gaining from the stories that you're receiving? How are they impacting you? How are they teaching you about the meaning of life? So I'm coming back through the jelly donut, coming back out, and something triggered me, like this rage, just soul rage, okay? And at that point, I literally received this interpretation that, um, I was going to have follow through, because my goal is always to heal and transform, and uplift and do this in a kind way, okay? Um, but there's this thought about, in this moment of rage, there's this thought about learning through cruelty. All right, hear me out here. So let's say life breaks you down, but it makes you more humble. So you learn through cruelty how to be a more meaningful person. So it didn't really kill you, right? It just broke you down and it woke you up. Like, wow, I really needed that wake up call. I really needed that to come in and shatter me so that I could actually realize something new about myself or the way that I was living my life. I needed to really grow up or whatever, okay? So sometimes cruelty is love too, tough love, that then makes us better, okay? And everything in my being, and why the rage here? Like, why didn't I feel sorry for this planet? It didn't get what it wanted. Now it's acting like a spider. Like, it literally transformed into a monster. And it was behaving like a monster. And there's something that disgusted me about how it just became this spider, like, oh, I've been so lonely. Oh, thank you for coming, as it's wrapping you up in this, and it's fine line. It's like the spider, right, is wrapping up this insect, like telling you how happy it is that you come, and I've been so lonely. Like, you're actually saving it from itself as it's like slowly devouring you and the jelly donut of its insides. What is this? And I was just outraged by it. Don't ask me. It's not Abby the human. It was my soul. It was carrying this meaning, okay? And I wanted to heal this through cruelty, you can say, okay? And I wanted something to snap at this, to snap it back into place, because the true love of all has to endure what it doesn't receive. What it thinks it needs doesn't get what it needs, doesn't get what it wants, doesn't mean anything, doesn't even have to break you. All it can do is just make you a brighter star in the sky, brighter planet in your heart, a brighter human being, whatever, however you want to put this. But the things that you don't get don't have to turn you into a monster, all right? The reason why the re-zero, which is like a rebirth, returning back, trying to figure out how to become a better person in order to find your way through this story, okay? It's actually really, I think there's a lot of good messages in it too, and I find it interesting. So you have this character who has these abilities, and you could use these abilities, right? You have evil things that you're gonna throw your magic ability at in order to get those evil things to maybe wake up. Just kindly, evil thing here, throw some some things to help you like wake up and realize, like, leave those people alone or back off. And evil things just can't stop. They just keep going and going until they get their way, because evil just is relentless. It just doesn't ever stop. So at what point do you just break some legs? Like, at what point is enough enough? Like, what lesson is evil really looking for? So in some way, this needed a cold, hard wake-up call. It needed its legs broken. I know it sounds mean, because I should feel sorry for the planet. I didn't. In fact, I was irritated. And I was told, as I'm doing this journey, as I'm trying to figure out what in the world, the pressure, why did I pick up on this? I have no idea. I think it's trying to reach something unresolved inside myself, and it's coming out, kind of like Old Faithful, just like, sometimes like the geyser of unresolved stuff inside yourself. It's just like, it needs to come out, It needs to come out. So you need events that trip the trigger that then help you to wake up to now a behavior or an idea or a meaning or a grief, whatever. So I pulled the spirit into my heart, in this cube inside my heart, and I was going to take this a long, long, long ways away. almost to like, if for it to endure greater loneliness than it had ever known. It's like you finally have people, and what do you do with them? You absorb them, and then you hold on to them. You're evil, and you haven't learned your lesson. I was told I wouldn't know really what to do. I wouldn't be able to tell if there was a kind way of handling this or if there was a cruel way to handle this. So I was just going to have to make a decision because it didn't feel right. Making a decision based upon my own unresolved anger, which I didn't even really understand. It's not good to make decisions out of anger. And anyway, this whole thing just made me bawl my eyes out. I was just like bawling my eyes out. It's like this whole story. it just affected me. And I started to experience that I am not only this spider planet, is I got to feel what it was like. I was also myself dealing with spider planet. I was also all the people that ever went to this planet were consumed by the planet, just waiting. And those souls were not necessarily good. In fact, this planet seemed to be attracting lessons that needed to be learned. And so saving these souls wasn't really saving them so much as this planet was actually saving them and giving them a lesson. And now I'm here to give the planet a lesson. It's like, when do these lessons ever freaking end? Which I feel like is the point. It takes me back to the story of how many freaking times we have to, like, this lesson. What is this lesson? Seems to be the basis of the entire, like, all that this is about in our reality is this lesson. And I don't even know if it's a lesson so much as the opportunity to go through all these lenses with each other and to decide without really knowing how to make the right decision, just to do something and maybe regret it, but then choose to never regret anything because you just have to own it, because that's all part of this lesson. So naturally, I felt the great loneliness of the planet, and it was like an emotional loneliness I never felt before. And I never really got to see what the resolution was, because it was really about what I was trying to resolve inside of myself. Is somehow these connected stories and the meaning of cruel learning or kind learning, it was just all kind of bottled up inside of me. And what is really truly the right thing to do. And the end of all of this, like, the only way that you can actually live is to live as honestly as you possibly can. That's it. It's just the honest, it's just, I don't know why that was the end result of this. The end result of all of this, which I'm still going to be reflecting on for a while, was to just be as honest as you possibly can. I honestly don't know what decision to make, so I honestly will have to make a decision. So I honestly feel that the right decision to make at this time, in all my rage and grief, is to do this cruel thing to this cruel thing that's been doing these cruel things, and I'm just going to keep doing cruel things. But then I don't really know how to do a loving thing because I'm just so angry and hurt inside. And so I just got to be honest about all this stuff. I just got to be honest. And in the end, it's like, I honestly don't know. But in the midst of all of this, right, I just returned to myself after all this, like, it really, like, I was literally bawling my eyes out as I was doing this journey, because I felt so much hurt in this lesson. What is this lesson? Anger begets anger begets anger. It never, like, maybe we have these special abilities. We don't hurt evil because evil just keeps hurting. And then if you hurt evil, and it's like this cruel behavior just keeps going and going and going and going and going and going and going. And it's like, it never, ever, ever, ever ends. But at what point does it just end? At what point does evil just take a freaking vacation? What do you, like, I'm just going to stop here because I could just keep reflecting on this, because I'm going to be reflecting on this. And I thought, well, I'm just sitting down, and I want to be sharing more of my experiences closer to the moments when they happen, even if I haven't reflected much on it. I'm just going to share and let you guys think about it. And I was hit recently. This is just like a sidestep. I'm almost done telling you everything, but I was hit recently, just the eye roll annoyance about the whole, like, the evil reptilian shapeshifters. I find myself so annoyed. It's almost like people are waiting to get the next news about the dark cabal and the evil reptilian shapeshifter. So people are just receiving this information. It just goes like, oh, they're doing their bad things again. Oh shoot, it's going to be a tough week. Okay, we're gaining on them. The light's starting to win. Oh, thank God, thank God. Like how long can people stay roped up, like living their lives based upon this intel instead of just living their lives? And so I'm working on putting out an actual, I'm going to use my skills and just do a series, and we're going to go look at dark cabal stuff. We're going to look at draconian reptilian shapeshifter stuff. We're going to just go look at all of it in my own Abbey Normal way, okay? And we're going to see it through a new lens, and I'm all about empowerment and upliftment and bringing you back to yourself, at taking a look at things in a lens that is thoughtful. I just feel like it's a more thoughtful lens. Even this conversation I'm having, even though I don't know how to fully find my ground with it, I'm offering it as a thoughtful, reflective opportunity for you to see what is beyond day-to-day life and the meaning that can affect you and get you thinking about how you can be a better person or a more honest person, or how you can think about, why maybe the character doesn't want to kill evil, because then they're just no different than evil, you could say. Or maybe evil needs to stop, and maybe we need to start looking at it differently. And maybe the light needs to wake up and start looking at the stuff differently. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm just going to say this. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me. Yeah, so that happened. All right. If I can help you in a session, by the way, I do that on the side. Besides talking about these weird things, I also do journeys for everyday people. You can book a session at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. All right, have an awesome day. Bye for now.